All right, welcome. This is the WWW Weekly Wellness Wednesday. I'm Robert here in beautiful Granbury, Texas. I'm being joined by two close friends here. One is I call him my brother from another mother. His name is Jim Rhodes from up in Hurricane, Utah. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Robert. It's always a pleasure, especially with the special guest we've invited.
Yes, beautiful, powerful ladies here. And so our mutual friend here is Carol Henderson, who hails from about as far north as you can get in the great state Republic of Texas. Yes, Carol?
Yes, and it's Independence Day today for Texas.
For Texans, yes. Wonderful. Well, welcome, Carol. So wherever you're hailing in from, my friends, any part of North America, US, Canada, or even globally, we want to welcome you. This is something we do on a weekly basis where we grab individuals who are all of them heart-centered servant leaders, and we uncover some of their secrets, epiphanies, journeys into wellness, next level health, next level energy, which leads to next level contribution. So we want to welcome you. And so any other opening thoughts, Jim, as well, before we go into our interview?
Just that I appreciate everybody who is showing up, whether they're live today watching us or even later when it's picked up because it's recorded. That is what you've shared, helping me understand when we show up, we're doing what only about 1% of the population do, to gain knowledge. And knowledge, when applied, becomes wisdom. And knowledge also gives us a whole bunch of better choices that we may not know about unless we seek it.
Wow. It does give us choices, doesn't it? So, and thank goodness we are seeking that. And if you're on this call, you are seeking that. So the VIP on this line is each and every one of you showing up and taking the time to grow and expand. So welcome. So welcome, Miss Carol. And Carol, with your help, we coined this finding and co-creating a life by design. So how about we start there? So let's start there, and then we'll rewind the clock a little bit to kind of give everybody some grounding in what led you here. But how about, first of all, what do we all three have in common here, Carol?
Oh, wow. We're all helping people to live better, look better, and feel better. True?
True.
That's what life by design is all about, is designing your life to do those things.
I love that. And, I'm assuming that wasn't always kind of a declaration or something you actually lived by. So that's where we are today. So I know it's kind of a more detailed answer, but how about we rewind the clock a little bit and just kind of help you to uncover what led you to where we are today. So Miss Carol, so you have been around wellness and nutrition, my goodness, for how long?
Well, actually, probably all my life. In that my grandfather was a pharmacist back when they actually custom compounded the medications. It wasn't somewhere out of a bottle, but I can remember standing at the soda fountain on the back side of it, putting powder in the little capsules and putting the lids on them. And then they'd scoop the powder back into the jar and the pills into a bottle for people. Wow. And I was like 8 or 10 when I did that.
Wow. That was your grandfather?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fun.
So learned a lot from him and from my mother about some natural things that were common back then. And doctors are necessary. They're wonderful. There's nothing better than the US for emergency care. But as far as ongoing health care, I think natural is much more in tune with our bodies.
Well said.
Imagine that. Any comments on that, Jim?
Yes. Our body is constantly trying to serve us, and it even knows how to heal itself if we'll listen to its many cries for the building blocks, the nutrition, the the water, which sometimes we leave out of our daily routine, that can make such a difference in how we feel, how we think, how we operate, and how long we get to live.
Well said. So Carol's nodding her head over there. So Carol, so obviously it wasn't a stranger to you from early on. You said you were 8 or 10, you were saying?
Yes, when I was helping make pills. So,
Fun. And so then were you also influenced in that direction, by your parents, other role models as you got older?
I didn't really realize it, but probably, I mean, they took me to the doctor when I was sick and such as that. But, we did natural things also. And then as a young married, we had 3 small children. And I guess my son was 12 or 13 when my husband broke his back, and or 10 or 12. And anyway, he broke it. And when they went to fuse it, it was the lower back, L5S1, and they would roll him. And it's like his feet were sticking up in the bed, and they'd throw the covers on it and then roll the top half of him. And so his sciatic nerve got pinched. And if you've ever had sciatic nerve pain, that's the horrid pain that goes down your whole leg into your toes and stuff. And his back fused that way. And the doctor was wonderful, but aftercare was a little lacking. And so that began probably 25, 30 years of trying to find something. And they had him on like over 18 medications from the back surgery. One of them even kept his pills down. Another one caused his skin to peel off like a blanched peach. So he couldn't get his keys out of his pocket. And so here we are in public, and I'm reaching in his pocket to get keys if he accidentally put them in there. And that was not a pretty picture. And especially 40 years ago. So that's kind of where we started. Due to that, he had 2 different heart attacks due to the pain level. And so they added more medications, and he ended up on over 25 daily medication, very high doses of the opiates. There were 2 different opiates he took. We now have him off of everything but 2 things, and those are like a quarter dose of what he was prescribed.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we don't diagnose, prescribe, treat anything. No. So you're saying
I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV.
And just to be clear, Carol, I'm sure, just to clarify here. So this whole, when you say he's able to more naturally help some things, this isn't just simply the program that we love with Zalevo. It's other activities and other endeavors that
protocols, different, electric medicine machines. But I will tell you, our product that the 3 of us met through has been like a major step up. I mean, he dug a ditch for a water line way down on the lower 40 is what I call it, probably a football field long ditch to put a water line in by hand the other day. Wow. This is a man that was in bed 20 hours a day in 2012. So, wow.
Yeah. The body is an amazing. By the way, if you're new to some of the group here, Jim talks about one of Jim's presentations, Carol, that you and I both heard too, is the miracle of the body. And feel free to reach out. We could even there's a whole series of calls that Jim has been around nutrition and nutritional consulting and speaking and lecturing and teaching for almost five decades now. So I just had to make that comment because you talked about the miracle of the body and what Keith has gone through. So here's one of my questions. What influence, as far as perspective, did your journey owning a modeling agency did that affect any perspectives on, because there's even some health challenges that go along with that. Sometimes we won't name some of those conditions, but any comments around that?
Yes, I ran my agency very different, and yet I was internationally known as having wonderful models. My goal going into it, I fell into it. I really didn't pursue it, but it kind of dropped into my lap. But my goal once I got going was I wanted it to be said about me that I had a good eye. And that was like a goal. And I heard that many times. And so that was wonderful. But I approached the whole modeling industry differently. So many agents, especially mother agents in little town, they'll tear down a girl and say, you're fat, you're ugly, you've got to do this, you've got to lose all this weight. And they would have them lose weight unhealthily.
Yeah.
And when they would go off to the big towns, New York, LA, Paris, they had nothing inside to fall back on. And so they would crumble. They would get into oftentimes drugs and other trafficking type things. We built up from the inside. We taught them how beautiful they were and taught them how to make right choices and how to nourish their bodies. Because if you're nourishing your body properly, you will, in time, become the weight and the size that you should be. Now, sometimes that's a challenge because our food does not any longer have the nutrition it did when the three of us were children. It's been, over-farmed and over-chemicaled and genetically altered. And so that is a big thing there. So, but what I did with my girls was I kept a good eye on them. I, worked with them locally. I went with them when they would go eat. I even told the parents, you pay the flight and I will go overseas with your daughter and get them settled. And I did that several times just to make sure that everything was on the up and up as I was told that it was, because I didn't want, and I did not have any tragedies in my agency. And that after 15, 20 years in the industry, that's
Carol,
something to say.
What is so awesome, you learned how to inspire rather than require your students who would lift themselves and become the models that you had seen in them. You painted a good picture, their future, and they arrived at it because they trusted your words. And, you certainly influenced people.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
And, every girl's not cut out to be a model. Some are cut out to be actors, and actresses, and I did boys, girls, 4 years old up into, I think my oldest one was 83. Because I was in a smaller town and we had a large group. And it is true. The one requirement, especially when a girl was going to go off, I required that, or before a convention where we would go and meet large numbers of agents and stuff, I required them to drink a gallon of water a day. And they would notice the difference in your skin. If you're not happy with your skin, drink a gallon of water a day and you will get a misty glow. I don't really recommend over that. Some of the agents wanted them to do 2. And I think that's a little too much and flushes some of the minerals and good stuff out of your body. But a gallon a day for a girl that's 5'10", 5'11", that's a good amount.
Yeah. You want to comment on the importance of hydration, Jen? That's a big one, fundamental.
Yes, it is fundamental. 60 to 70% of our body weight should be water. And we're lucky if we're walking around at 50%, because the majority of us have gone without water so long that when our thirst mechanism kicks in, it's sitting right next to our hunger mechanism. We assume we're hungry, not thirsty. And our thirst mechanism starts to die away and our hunger goes up. And that's why it's really tough. That's why so many people lose weight, but didn't practice good practice of drinking plenty of water and keep that up afterwards. And suddenly all that weight they lost by sacrificing good, even smart, good nutrition, it all comes back and invites their friends to hang on to. So it's called the yo-yo syndrome for sure. But you're right. If you were teaching them good things of hydration right up front, you're right. Not only the skin, but what happens on the inside is just magic. It is the secret elixir of all health.
Well, and there were the girls who were very thin that thought they were healthy because they were thin. And I had one girl, and this sounds kind of mean and hateful, but she, we knew each other well, and she'd been around for a long time. And I told her, I said, "You are the fattest skinny girl I've ever seen," and stuff. But she would go to Colonel Sanders and get mashed potatoes and gravy and bring it to the office every day and eat it. And I'm going, "Honey, that's not good for you."
Yeah,
She now has children of her own, and she's teaching what I taught her.
good.
Yeah. Well, I can now begin to even get a better glimpse of why you're so effective at what you do, even currently today, because of the nurturing and how you, I love how you use that inspire versus require. I already get some comments. So thank you.
That's thank you, Jim. I thank you for that.
Jim coined that. So thank you, Jim. So let's go ahead and let's fast forward the clock, because I wish we had 2 hours to interview you. Now that I would love to know more of your story, and I talk with you most every day. So to fast forward the clock, we're talking now, what, 6-7 months ago when we all connected?
May.
Okay. All right. So at that point, you had been around wellness, you had been around nutrition, you had retired from your modeling journey there, inspiring all these awesome people. And so tell us why, number one, why were you even open to having a conversation here?
Well, I was with a great company, loved their product. It was, something that no other, they had an ingredient that is in not any other products. And so I loved that. It actually helped my husband get out of a wheelchair and off a walker. So, it caught my heart. And I was doing some beauty stuff, skincare, galvanic spa type things. And when he, and I said, "I'll teach you how to do multi-level. I'll show you how to do parties, but this is going to be your company." And it wasn't. I ended up, it caught my heart just because I saw the difference in him. And so that company merged with another company, which was also a very good company that had wonderful things. But it was like a mall. You'd walk into a mall and you could shop any store. But the mall decided to not have them have shakes anymore. And so I met Robert at a networking event, and we were chatting, and we got together afterwards and Zoomed and talked. And he said, "I'm drinking this shake." And I'm like, "Shake? Tell me more." So, because I love shakes. To me, they're easy. They are good nutrition that you don't have to cook. You don't have to clean up. You get you a bullet and, or a shaker bottle. And that, that solves 2 meals a day. And I live out in the country, and we don't get to just run to the restaurant every day. And so, or we could, but we don't choose to. But anyway, so that's what initially caught me was Robert saying. And then when he started telling me about it, and the nutrition, the nutrition and the protein was almost double what the one I was drinking, and actually it even tastes better. So,
but what's interesting for those listening, it even wasn't the video that caught your heart and your interest. Even wasn't about this full spectrum meal we love.
It wasn't. And I'm glad you brought that up. It was a video about autophagy and intermittent fasting and all of that Kirsty had done. And I'm like, oh, I loved the education, because that's my background. I loved getting the details. I loved learning about it. It was presented well. It was scientifically backed. And I had not heard of autophagy at that point, and learned a lot. I now have a book that is out. It's in it actually is, you can order it now, about autophagy and intermittent fasting. So
Wow.
It obviously caught my heart.
Obviously has, and feel free to reach out to any of us. We can show you how to get that as well. So we have so many tools to share. So
Yes.
Obviously, like you're preaching to the choir, and probably most of us listening especially Jim and I, like you, we have loved these superfoods in the form of so convenient in the shake, close to, or close to the living source as we can get this. It becomes a living food when you add water to our goodies.
Mhm.
And so the autophagy. So your initial results.
Well, I I had decided I was going to be happy with my weight. I was not going to be railing and telling my body it was bad anymore. I didn't shop. I didn't look in the mirrors. I just was like, okay, God, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be content. And I started doing our products to be healthier. I personally think you can always be a next level healthy, no matter what you're doing. There's something you can do to get healthier. And so my husband and I started drinking the products, taking the shakes, and I jumped in with both feet. I told Robert, I said, bring it on. I'm going to give this the good old college try. And all of a sudden, my clothes started getting loose. And I thought, well, this is kind of nice. And then one day I was in town and somebody said, your pants are a little baggy. And these are pants that I had to lay on the bed and struggle to get buttoned at the beginning of spring. And they were ripped jeans, and the skin kind of pooched out a little bit of the rips. You've seen people at stores like that. And anyway, I actually have a video that day I got home, and my husband is not a videographer, but I caught it on tape. They were baggy. I mean, falling off baggy. And I could have stuck my arm in one hole and out the other in the ripped jeans, and it would have fit.
Oh,
And I'm like, this is pretty cool. This is really pretty cool. And I wish that I'd had one of those scales that track all of your stuff from day one, because it would have looked like, the Alps going down. And it wasn't that I tried. It's just that my body was getting nourished in a way that I had not been able to nourish it in quite a while. And it just started going back to where it wanted to be.
Yeah.
And that's been since May. And so this is what, February, this is March. We're in March. So I'm almost at a year, and it's down, and it's not been a struggle. It's not regimented. I eat what I want when I want, and I do my 2 a day. And that's pretty much how I work with my people, to not regiment things. And,
and when we did the preview, just Jim, this is new to you too. When Carol and I were chatting, Jim, about 2 or 3 hours ago, she said, you're leaner, you have more lean muscle, which is really cool. So we're not just shedding body fat, we're putting on, because of that bioavailability factor, and the gut's working better. And then you're moving. When you say you're moving better, what does that mean? Explain that.
Well, I can run up and down the stairs, and my legs don't hurt. I mean, we have a basement, and I would not come down to the basement because I would not come down for weeks and even probably months at a time, because unless I had to get something down here, I didn't go down the stairs. And the products we've had even last May made a difference, and the new one has made even more of a difference. And just in oil in my joints, okay, getting me, not feeling like the Tin Man, and just more comfortable in my skin.
No, I love that. So comments, Jim, around?
Yes, I would love to comment, because what you awakened in you, and all of us possess this, is your own mini fountain of youth.
Mm-hmm.
What you found out as you experienced autophagy is the rebirth of old or damaged cells that make our body what it is, in a healthier, stronger, more vibrant appearance, as well as function. And that's what happens to almost everybody who experiences autophagy. That's the magic. And to be able to do this intermittent fasting and get into autophagy, and yet fuel every 4 hours, so we're still putting nutrients in our body all those times, makes it so we can go that 24 hours, that 48 hours, and even longer, without going, oh man, this is too hard. It's just the opposite. you feel good while you're in the middle of this whole regeneration of your body. So well done.
Yes.
It
Well, and
shows.
can I share what my best friend from high school said?
Please.
Please.
I had breakfast with her the other day, and we were talking and, just doing the whole catch up thing. And right before we left, she goes, "Okay, so tell me about what you're doing." And I said, "Oh, well, okay." And so I started telling her a little bit. And as we were leaving, she goes, "Okay, I have got to have this because you're looking 10 years younger than I do, and you're only 4 weeks younger, and I can't have that." And so I snapped a picture, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So
It's
that
true.
was fun.
Yep.
Mhm.
Fountain of youth. There we go.
Yeah. And let's face it, it's wonderful to have health from the inside, and also we're all aging. So, it's why not have the appearance of, and also the glow, also the vibrancy that reflects the inner health as well. That's my point. So
So
Yes.
totally true.
yeah. So Carol, obviously it's been almost a year now. You're loving this. You obviously have attained, even if you didn't make anything, because this is the call. It's all about wellness. I know for those listening, to touch on this, early on, we began to get your products paid for, and we've obviously, exceeded that. So that's something you can ask. If you're watching this, reach out, invite, and ask the person who invited you how to do that. So Carol, I
Yes.
guess, is there a system? Is there a system of support? Is there an environment and a community behind this?
Oh my. Well, Robert and Jim do a call on Monday mornings and Friday mornings. And most of us, I mean, it's not a requirement, but most of us are faith-based that are in this group. And we meet together Mondays and Fridays to talk about business and, wins and challenges. And we pray. And that right there, it's just a good way to bracket your week, to start your week and to end your week. And the company from the top down is faith-based. We have core values that are wonderful. The money isn't bad. I mean, it isn't bad. And to get this kind of products free and have leftover money extra is pretty wonderful. But more than anything, it's seeing the people you work with start to feel better and look better and be their old selves. People that complained all the time or were in pain a lot.
And we say discomfort, so just to be clear.
Yeah, okay. They were in great deals of discomfort, like my husband.
We don't treat, diagnose, cure, anything. So.
No, we don't. Yeah, keep me compliant here. But discomfort, and to be able to nourish your body so that it will heal itself, because that's how God made us. God made our bodies to heal themselves.
Yeah.
And it's my personal opinion that there's not much that your body can't deal with if you give it the right building blocks.
Wow.
So.
Well said.
Yes.
So call to action, closing thought before we go. We're going to have Carol do that. So Jim, other thoughts as we kind of round this up tonight and on this conversation?
Probably the one observation I would say, Carol is not the exception to the rule.
Mm-mm.
The majority of the people we share this with have very similar stories.
Yeah.
And their health journey, we call miraculous, is what the body is. It is miraculous. And you summed it up. Give the body what it needs in the right form that gets delivered to where it's needed, and watch the miracle of what it can perform for us, giving us energy, giving us mental clarity, giving us deeper sleep and recovery from things that sometimes look impossible. The body is that resilient. So thank you for sharing your story.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad to share. And what I would say is, anybody on this call listening, get back with who invited you to this call. You're welcome to come on and ask any of us questions. I think they do that in the chat. even after the event. But get back with the person who invited you, because they can get you hooked up to get all the stuff we've talked about, and with these two gentlemen, because we're a family. And I mean, I can pick up the phone and call either of them. I can call Brandon, who owns the company, or the founder and CEO, and say, Brandon, I need this. Or, that's the beauty of this. It is family. I've been in companies before, and some of them had the term one team, one dream, and all this, and they tried, but it always fell short of really being that way. And I've got to say, well, Barbara, somebody that was interviewed the other day, and myself, and Donna's been, and we're doing, Donna and Barbara and I are not financially connected, but we're doing a workshop together, the three of us, to teach how to be healthier. And so that's the beauty, is that people, they don't care where you come from in this family of the company. They don't care. They want to help. They want to be a part of your life. And we're all just so intermingled, and that has been fun.
Wow, it's
Yes.
priceless. And we're built on servant leadership, if you're watching this and you aren't aware of that. So how about we recognize the people that showed up tonight, guys? So Betsy Baum, you're awesome. Betsy said hello and thank you. You guys are awesome. Dennis, thank you, Dennis. Cindy Krebs, Carolyn, thank you, Carolyn. Jill Berth, Jill's always showing up here. We love you, sister. Laura Lovely, Mindy, thank you. Debbie, Elaine. Just thank you guys for showing up. And again, if you're watching this recording, again, we just want to applaud you for doing what the vast majority of human beings on this planet don't do. They don't just show up and keep learning and growing and evolving. So Carol, I'm so grateful that you did step up and show up in our lives, because you inspired Jim and I, you inspired me to be a better person, much less a better leader here as we change lives. And Jim, I love you. Love and light to you and your family. I love your family. So we are family here. So Carol,
Yes,
thank you. This is available. So we'll be resharing this as well. It's evergreen. It's always in this page as well. Feel free to invite your friends. So
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me. Bye.
thank you. I'm so used let's go ahead and do this. We do it every time. Let's do it now. Force for good. So 1, 2, 3.
Force for
Force
good.
good.
That's you guys. And thanks for letting me join.
Thank you guys. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.